Hi everyone. Have you ever wondered why so many people commit crime in the US and never learn from their mistakes? Well, I've done many assignments and learned many things from different articles from over the 10 criminal justice classes I've taken at Columbus State. And it goes to show that our system is broken, especially when it comes to rehabilitation and incarceration. Inmates receive nutritions that are not needed for an adult, female or male, but also incarceration that is making prisoners not neighbors, which is not what we want. Now I know America is not great, but we need to change what we are doing wrong. Feed them what is really needed. Give them resources that are beneficial for them and show them how society evolves, especially when they're incarcerated. This morning, I'd like to tell you about how and why our criminal justice system needs improvements, but also how it's compared to the Norwegian prison systems. First, I'd like to talk about how the criminal justice system needs improvements. Our system needs more resources and programs when it comes to the prisons themselves. The system is allowing overflow of inmates, which can lead up to hundreds more than what they actually hold past capacity. And the prisons themselves don't care. They can do what they want, especially in the US. This then leads to the lack of food portions that they actually receive, meaning more people, less food, especially when it comes to the system. There's a documentary that I watched, which is in one of my works cited, and it explains how the US was feeding them for one of the meals was a hot dog, soup, and coleslaw, which normally was denied for many reasons, as we all probably should know, a water and an orange. This is extremely small, especially for a male or female. This is not the nutrition that we need to be healthy. And I know that we are incarcerating them, but they need to be rehabilitated and they need food so that their mental state is correct and stay. They have two meals a day, and the second one, which would be the last one, would be about 5 o'clock. And this does not help them at all because you would be starving 15 to 18 hours after that. If you don't have money to go to the store or if you don't have family support to help you, this is very this is not very good because you have bad behavior from being hungry, you lash out, and this leads to more problems. This could lead you to being incarcerated even longer. Job resources in our system also needs help because the jobs that we offer help our prisons, but they don't help the inmates for the skills they need for after society. For example, Holden's prison in Norway, they offer many opportunities and skills. One of them would be a music studio. This music studio had microphones, guitars, drums, even computer setups with everything you would name an actual music studio for someone that was famous. Because they are helping them. They are helping them build what they need when they leave the incarceration. And this is great. I feel that we need to be more like them because they have lower rates compared to us. Also, they have opportunities in food. They opened their own restaurant, which was really cool. It's called the Honest Foods. It's like a five-star restaurant right outside of the prison. The chef is actually an inmate, so he does control the knives and equipment, which isn't normal for a prison because, I mean, safety reasons, but they have opportunities and they trust in them. And I think that's why they often have a 3 to 6 month average compared to us having a 3 year average. Next, I'd like to speak on how we could change our system. Rose and Shim study felony offenders in North Carolina and find a large incapacitation effect while individuals in prison, but no significant effect afterwards. This statement from one of the articles that I read shows that we're not rehabilitating them correctly, and they are. We can change our system by implanting resources in inmates and mental health for individual help. They need help for individually. They have their own problems. Not everyone is the same, and they need individual everyone needs to focus. Secondly, another way we would show society as it evolves would be showing them how the economy or how our presidents. I know there is TVs depending on where you are and incarcerated, but if you went into prison in 2014 and released in 2021, do you know what president we have? Do you know how the economy has changed in those years? Because I wouldn't. Education is key, but we don't have the resources in the US for this. If they did not have uniform restrictions, personally, I think that would help with the state of mental health. But that is my personal view. I feel like this would have them into mental right for being comfortable and being at home. Norway, they can wear whatever they want. They can wear their tennis shoes that are comfortable. They're not in orange or black. They're perfectly fine. And I think this would really help with rehabilitation. And I know many would not like to hear that. I hope that I've made it clear on how our criminal justice system needs changed. First, we talked about the inmates' food portions and programs that were needed, and then we talked about how they would get on the path of not relapsing and coming back. Next, I would like to talk about Norway's prison system and how it's much better than the US system, and how we could follow what they are changing. Norway's prison system is much different than the US system in many different ways, especially when it comes to rehabilitation. Like I said before, they have a 3 to 6 month average for just holding and incarcerating. We have a 3 year average, and that's not good. Well, both systems will separate low level and high level offenders in prison, but they incarcerate way differently. Norway allows low level offenders to have open prisons so they walk around, minimal security, and even have responsibilities and freedoms that the US would never offer because of safety. A great example would be when I watched this documentary, the basketball team. You were able to play a game in Norway and the officers would join and play and everything, but in the US, they would only watch and make sure that no one is going to get hurt because they feel that if they joined the US and played with them, they would be putting themselves at danger, which, I mean, it could happen. Another reason that they're doing better is overcrowding in our systems. Like I said before, the overcrowding in our systems would allow for like the US prisons, you have 3 to 4 inmates in a prison cell. But in Norwegian, the policy is you only have one cell with one inmate in it. And that makes a big difference when it comes to safety. So, in conclusion, I hope you have some reasons why our criminal justice system needs improvements and rehabilitation, and it's why it's important. But also why so many people commit crime in the US and not learn from their mistakes. So, next time you see someone on TV and see them relapse or even just go back for reoffending for the third or fourth time, just know it's because our system has failed us.